Hi, I'm Denise. Welcome to my channel. To be honest, I feel like these are the in-between videos. I am in the middle of moving. We are moving back from Sydney back to Queensland to our original home. So we're in complete moving chaos. Philip has been wonderful in doing the lion's share of the packing and left me a corner of my studio where I'm still painting because just because I have a number of paintings to get done before Melbourne Affordable Art Fair, and if I lose all these weeks in between called packing time, it kind of makes you a little bit crazy if you feel like a deadline looming. So even if I don't get a real lot done, getting some done is really helpful. So that's today's video. I'm going to share with you a few bits and pieces of pieces in progress. I'm working on 30 by 30s because they are 30 by 30 centimeters, that is like 12 by 12 inch, because they are so much more manageable. And oh, here it is. I wanted to share this little sweetie. So I guess this is sort of this is the little one that inspired this one. And so I guess this one is probably the first one ready. I just finished it yesterday, and it just brings me so much joy, these little aura paintings. So they were very well received in Brisbane at the Affordable Art Fair. So I'm doing another bunch of little tablescapes with aura because I'm not tired of doing them yet, and seemingly people aren't tired of seeing them yet. So I will do them for as long as they completely bring me joy. So yeah, what else to say? I feel quite discombobulated and unsettled. So it comes to mind along the way all these things that I want to bring and share with you on my channel. I kind of look forward to welcoming myself back into my studio on the coast, welcoming you back in there if you already followed me before I moved. Wow, it's been 2 years. Coming up, it'll be 2 years. By the time we get back, it'll be kind of exactly 2 years that I've been away from the Sunshine Coast and going home. So I feel that will bring with it so much, kind of like the joy of going home, but also newness. You know, you do a lot of growing. We've done a lot of growing by doing this big exercise of letting everything go and moving away, leaving. So that's very much in my awareness at the moment, that I'm kind of processing a bit of that as I go. So if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to getting to know you by way of the comments below. You're welcome to reach out, and I always read them and respond to them as well. So I'll keep it short so that I get bundle these together and just get this little video up and away for you this week, because I want to keep them going. I missed last week. So yeah, all right, see ya. We're getting there. I'm only left with this area now. I've got some pieces that I'm working on. I was just sitting looking out the window. This is my studio view out to the city. And we're only here for a few more weeks. We're actually moving back to Queensland. So this will not be my view in a month's time. It's just interesting to take stock of where I am now. And I found this painting had fallen down behind some drawers. I had lost it a few, maybe months ago, and I just couldn't for the life of me figure out what happened. I thought, I don't remember selling it, but maybe I did. So it's funny to me that I found these two. So they both were recreated from, I did these little paintings working with grief some years ago after my mum crossed. And I was using these paper doll sort of cutouts. And so these two were a particular way for a while, and then they got redone. And I did the redo, these two, when I moved here, because it felt like the analogy I've used in ways in talking about these kind of paper doll shapes, and then you put them in, put them together to look like a body, look like everything's together. But it's very what do you call, reminiscent, or thinking of when you fall apart and you're putting yourself back together. And grief can really cause that to be apparent. You do, in many ways. A part of you completely falls apart, or all of you, whatever, and you put yourself back together over time. And I really loved this. What I loved about this one was I made the chair very oversized, so she could feel really safe sitting in a very big, oversized chair. And we even had lounge chairs a bit like that when I was growing up. And so, you know, recreating the stories from your childhood with your new adult self looking after you, reparenting yourself, is really a special thing that we can do. And I've let that little pigeon be inside, which is also fun. So these two have resurfaced, and perhaps after I've settled, or after the move, I could pop them on my Etsy so they're more easily found. But if one of them particularly speaks to you now, don't hesitate to message me, and I will do what I can to post it to you before I leave. If that's what you'd love, just let me know. I was up in the middle of the night doing a little bit on this, and I left myself a little note of things to come back to. That's the little inspiration, and this is how it's going. Having a bit of fun with this. Got little Aura in the studio. So I'm giving her a cuddle. I'm putting her on my lap for the time when so I thought, what can I do with a dog on my lap? And so I decided to sketch up these two designs. So I've got 6 little printouts of previous paintings there, and because they're just so delightful, and really when you change colours or change nuances, change little bits and pieces around, there's numerous ways that these can be painted. So I thought, well, I'm just going to keep going and keep, especially at this time where there is so much kind of chaos, it's just not the right time for me to try and think up new things from scratch. So that's another reason to just keep going on what's worked before, change them a little bit and keep going. And years ago when I first started and learnt to paint, I used to start with a black canvas. And so it's kind of interesting to return to something that I got a lot of practice at many years ago. And there were a couple of these little paintings that I did have black backgrounds and worked up from them. And what happens when you do that, and then you use chalk, and then you come in with colour, you end up, you can do, if you focus to do it, leave little kind of outlines on sort of everything. But because you're painting up to the chalk or up to the colour that you put on, it's looser than having black line drawing and sort of colouring it in. So that's really sort of a different technique. If you don't have the black background and you have colour, it's a whole different feeling. So that's a way of bringing a difference to these two paintings that not all the others will have. So that will be interesting how they turn out at the end, and you'll see the difference when I kind of maybe show you them in the coming weeks, show you them as a group. And you might notice the ones that had the black background and how they have a different vibe. And what else? All the while I'm also wondering about how will I change the colour palette. And so I've got a lot of kind of pale greens and things happening in that series above. And I think, when I was thinking of Queensland, you're thinking of the fresh, the sea, the sunshine, lighter, brighter colours and palette really lend themselves to that. So I'm curious about how Melbourne, it's known for black. It's known for everybody wearing black. I think that's maybe getting a little outdated. I'm sure there's a lot of colourful people there as well. But it's really been known for that, known for its darker, moody, very multicultural and very interesting and foodie, very, very foodie. So I've got one painting with a big sort of charcuterie board and a bottle of wine happening. And the coffee is more of a culture than tea. But I think that's Australia-wide. Tea is sort of a different kettle of fish. It's more come over from England, I guess. But, I have a big love of tea, and so I will continue my love of tea, and celebrating it with all the teapots and teacups will still show up in my paintings, I'm sure. But I'm trying to pop some coffee percolators in as well, or coffee plungers, whatever. French press, are they also called? So there's one sneaking in beside that vase on the right there. And so, yeah, that's all I can think of to share at the moment. And as you can see through to the right, my chairs, I gathered them and put them all in a circle. I have so much fun with those chairs, I tell you. They just delight me. Their shapes are gorgeous, and they inspire the paintings as well. I can bring them into them. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed today's vid.